Today, we take a look at 10 more pop-punk one-hit wonder type songs. Let's check it. So in my first list, we had a bunch of songs on there, and it was so big that I had to break it up into two sections. If not, this would have been like a 40-minute video. But in the last one, I had bands like Finch, The Riddlin' Kids, American Hi-Fi, Sparks to Rescue, Wheatus, SR71, and a whole bunch more. And this time, we're going to take a look at 10 more songs that they're one-hit wonder-ish. I was thinking about it last time, and I realized that some of these bands have hit the top 100 a few times. The definition of one-hit wonder is definitely them hitting number one on the charts and then never having another single ever, never having another record ever, hitting the number one spot. Some of these bands have never hit the number one spot. I should have rephrased this better and put songs that the bands are remembered for. So I'm not going to retitle it to that. I'm just going to keep it as the same part two thing with the one-hit wonders. So anyway, first song, we're going to jump into it like right now. First song is Pitiful from Blindside off of their 2002 album, Silence. Blindside's Pitiful seemed to blindside us. It popped up seemingly out of nowhere in the middle of the night during a time when a lot of experimental and a lot of creative and overseas bands were getting a big push in the States. I contribute a lot of this to the opening of the internet, and then also bands like him and Cradle of Filth and Bring Me the Horizons becoming more of a mainstream thing, and then popping up overseas. A lot of these like Swedish and Finnish bands were getting a big pop in the States at the time, and Blindside was definitely one of them. The band is defined as a Swedish post-hardcore punk band from Stockholm, Sweden that formed in 1994. These guys were together for quite a while and got their big break in 2002 when Silence picked up with the songs such as Sleepwalking, Caught a Glimpse, and of course Pitiful. The album was like a very edgier sound, like a harder sound, like from bands like Papa Roach and Breaking Benjamin, but it had that Swedish touch, which seemed at the time to be the perfect formula to go along with the big emo and the pop-punk bands that were already circulating in the States. The band's commercial success allowed them to perform on Conan O'Brien, a full US tour with Hoobastank, and most notably the song being one of the main themes from the skateboard movie Grind. Next up has got to be BOXCAR Racers' There Is. I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for a couple of the songs that are on this one specifically, because it's a lot of Blink side projects, but a lot of them hit the top 50 of the Billboard charts during the time. A lot of the side projects were being dropped, and a lot of the bands had really good songs. It just shows that it didn't matter what band they were in; they were just genuinely good songwriters. And BOXCAR Racers' There Is definitely that. This song was off of their self-titled and only album to ever come out called BOXCAR Racer in 2001. It was Travis Barker and Tom DeLonge of Blink-182's side project. They dropped 2 singles from the album, most notably There Is, but also a song called I Feel So. They both had music videos for it. The band took time between Blink albums and worked on side projects. The album also featured Tim Armstrong from Rancid and fellow Blink-182 member Mark Hoppus. Anyway, the band went on a brief tour in 2002 once the album dropped and proceeded to have a string of shows in California during and after the time of the Pop Disaster Tour, which featured Blink-182, Green Day, and Jimmy Eat World. The song peaked at 32 on the Billboard Modern Rock charts, and the band played the song live on Craig Kilborn. It's a pretty awesome live rendition if you've ever seen it. BOXCAR Racer has since broken up, but Tom sometimes teases the idea of a reunion of the band with Travis and fellow Angels and Airways member Dave Kennedy, who was also in BOXCAR Racer. Next up, I got a lot of messages, DMs saying you didn't put this song on the last one. I didn't, because this band is more than a one-hit wonder, but it's the song they're most known for. And we have to talk about the Plain White T's, Hey There, Delilah. You probably knew this song was going to be on here, if anything. Your kids probably know this song, you know this song, your parents know this song, and your grandparents probably know this song, because between the times of 2006 and 2007, it was everywhere. It's been covered umpteen million times, and was also probably another playlist song for people at the time. It probably still is to someone. Probably some girl out there named Delilah. Song Hey There Delilah was released in May of 2006 by the Plain White T's from their third studio album, All That We Needed, and peaked #1 on Billboard Top 100 in July of 2007. In 2008, the song was a double Grammy nominee for Song of the Year, Best Pop Performance, where the awards went to Amy Winehouse and Maroon 5, respectively. The real Delilah attended the Grammys that year as guest for lead singer Tom Higginson. The band continues to play to this day, and you might know another song by them called Rhythm of Love, which dropped in 2011. That's their other song that they're most noted for. Next up is the Clicks 5, Just the Girl. I remember hearing this song a whole lot. At first, admittedly, not really being into it, but it's definitely a song that it's an earworm once you get it going in there. The song was released in 2005 off of the band's debut album called Greetings from Emery House, and was the band's breakthrough single on the album. It hit #11 on Billboard's Top 100 and was actually co-written by Fountain of Wayne bassist Adam Schlesinger, who we talked about in the previous video, who sadly passed away in 2020 due to COVID complications. The Click 5 song lasted 20 weeks on the Billboard Top 100, bouncing back and forth between numbers, where in that time the band did extensive touring with bands like Alanis Morissette, Ashley Simpson, and the Backstreet Boys. The band popped out 2 more albums in 2007 and 2010 before calling it quits in 2013, where the band made a Facebook post saying that the breakup was mutual, but they were going to focus more on individual endeavors. Next up, and this is another Blink trigger warning, When Your Heart Stops Beating by Plus 44. This is another Blink side project, like I just said. Plus 44 is basically the love child of Travis Barker and Mark Hoppus of Blink-182. Which got together in 2004 after Blink's hiatus in 2004. They were joined by Nervous Return Shane Gallagher and Transplants touring guitarist Craig Fairbaugh. And the quintet dropped their debut and only album, When Your Heart Stops Beating, on November 13th of 2006. The album itself debuted 10 overall in the Billboard Top 200, with the song debuting at 66 in 2006 on the Rock Billboard charts. The band did a brief stint of touring, including the Honda Civic Tour featuring Fall Out Boy and the Academy Is and Paul Wall, before canceling their second studio album in 2009 after Hoppus and Barker regrouped with Tom DeLonge for a Blink-182 reunion. But the idea of Plus 44 reunion is still not out of the question. I remember an interview, Mark was actually joking with having what's called the Side Projects Tour, where Blink-182, Angels and Airwaves, Transplants, and Plus 44 would all tour together, and that kind of got pushed aside, but hopefully we'll see that one day in the future. That would be awesome. Up next is Amber Pacific's Gone So Young, released from the 2005 debut album from the band, The Possibility and the Promise, via Hopeless Records. Gone So Young remains one of the band's most prominent and notable songs. Though Gone So Young isn't the band's most pushed single, it actually wasn't until their second record, Truth and Sincerity, where Ben Harper of Yellowcard joined the group, where the band started gaining traction and dropping singles, which landed them 64 on the Billboard Top 200. Other than Gone So Young being the staple and most notable song from the band, and having over 4 million plays on Spotify to date, the most the band has ever had, it's still not their most commercial success, with Fall Back Into My Life appearing on the TMNT soundtrack in 2007. The band has went through extensive lineup changes throughout the years, and pursues their own interests on their own time, but still creates music together under the Amber Pacific name, and to this day most recently dropping a single entitled Right Here Waiting on March of 2021. Alien Ant Farm's Smooth Criminal. Though this band has had commercial success with other tunes, it's this one that most people think of when they think of Alien Ant Farm. The song dropped in May of 2001 and was actually the second single from the band's second studio album, Anthology. The song itself started as a joke, as the band would play Michael Jackson riffs during soundcheck and before gigs. Then the audience members started egging them on and saying, "Hey, why don't you learn the whole song of this Michael Jackson song. And then they would play it during their set, and then they thought, wow, this sounds really good, so let's just kind of like, let's just record this and get the rights to it and put it on our record. And so that's what they did. The song hit mainstream appeal with its raw and gritty rock sound compared to the 80s version of the glitz and the glam of the Michael Jackson version, and peaked #1 in several countries and stayed there for several weeks, including Australia, the UK, and of course the United States. Diamonds and Guns from the Transplants. I promise this is the last one from a Blink side project. During Rancid and Blink's hiatus, Travis Barker of Blink-182 and Rancid lead singer Tim Armstrong got together with fellow rapper and roadie Rob Aston and threw some beats down together, which became the first Transplants record. The song Diamonds and Guns, as well as their second single DJ, were two singles that dropped from the record and then quickly made rounds on radio and MTV circuit, with Diamonds and Guns being the debut single from the band's record. The song peaked #19 on Billboard Rock Alternative, 27 on the UK single charts, as well as the song being the background music for the Garnier Fructis commercials for several years. It's kind of a joke that it's really funny that the guys in the band are like really punk rock, but they sold out for a shampoo commercial. I only joke though, because I like all of the members in all the bands, and I don't want Skinhead Rob to kill me one day. The song was also used in Smallville's second season episode Visitor and an episode of Fastlane, and included in the Bulletproof Monk. The band made sure this was a side project though, and put Blink-182 and Rancid as priority one, having on and off hiatuses while they toured with their priority bands, but they still had time to throw down a couple albums, most recently the Take Cover EP in 2017. Next up is Hello Goodbyes, Here in Your Arms, from the band's full-length record, Zombies, Aliens, Vampires, Dinosaurs via Drive-Thru Records. We're going through the Drive-Thru Records era, that's right. Released on August 8th of 2006, the song peaked 15 on Billboard Top 100 and is certified platinum in the States. The song was picked up all over major radio and TV at the time, with the band performing it live on The Late Late Show and The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. The success of the song allowed the band to tour extensively with the likes of Reggie and the Full Effect and Cute Is What We Aim For, as well as hitting up the festival circuit with the Bamboozle Festival and the Vans Warped Tour. The band has dropped 3 more albums since the single was released, with 2018's Solely Natural being the most recent. Hello Goodbye are still together and still a band today, and when you see them live, they still play the hits. Last but not least is ATARIS Boys of Summer. This was one of the most requested ones that I had the last time I did this. Originally performed and released in 1984 by Eagles vocalist and drummer Don Henley, with the music written by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and Mike Campbell. The single was re-recorded and released by the ATARIS for their full-length studio record and major label debut, So Long Astoria, which dropped on March 4th, 2003 via Columbia Records. The song peaked #2 on the modern rock charts, which fought and battled with Linkin Park's Faint, which really shows my age, and they never got the #1 spot due to that song, and #20 on the Billboard 100. When the song released, it was everywhere, picking up the ears of even the original music composer Mike Campbell, who said, quote, "It's not a song you expect a young band like that to do, but I kind of like their version of it." Despite having other amazing albums and singles like San Dimas High School Football Rules and In This Diary, the Don Henley cover remains the biggest hit of the band to date. After many lineup changes, the band still performs today, puts out records, and still has founding member Chris Rowe. Alright guys, that was my list. That was a part 2. I don't know if I have enough songs for a part 3, but as long as there's songs still putting out in this world, there's eventually going to be a part 3 to this. I just got to do some fishing around. So if you like that, if you like this, then go check out part 1. And if you're coming from part 1, thanks for sticking around for part 2. Leave a comment below on what your favorite one-hit wonder pop punk song is, if I should do a part 3, and if you like Pop-Tarts or toaster strudel. Anyway, that's it for today, and let's roll the outro. Hey guys, we're at that part of the video where you should like and subscribe. And after the video is over, comment on some stuff. What did you like? What did you not like? What should I do next? Something like that. There's more to this channel than just the whole YouTube thing. I post daily blogs on thepoppunkdad.com, which features daily reviews and interviews from awesome bands from around the globe. Head on over to the Pop Punk Dad merch shop where you can find cool things like that right there. It helps the channel out and it lets me know that you love me. I have a weekly podcast called the Pop Punk Dadcast, which is on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Please subscribe. And hey, while you're at it, after this video, cruise on around and check out other content that tickles your fancy. Interviews with awesome bands, vlogs, cover songs, and more. You can check out all my socials, my IG, my FB, my Snapchat, and my Twitter at the Pop Punk Dad. And above all else, guys, stay pop punk. Later.